Hi, this is Victoria Nalule, and here with me again is Mr. Stephen Dow. He is a senior lecturer at the Center for Energy, Petroleum, Mineral and Policy at the University of Dundee. Previously, we've talked about renewable generation financing and grid and energy infrastructure financing. In this video, we want to focus on taxation and transfer pricing of multinational oil companies. Actually, this topic was requested by Lloyde, who is from Namibia. So yes, you have Stephen Dow, the expert, to address this topic. But before we start, I'd like Mr. Stephen Dow to briefly introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Stephen Dow. I'm Senior Lecturer in Energy Law at the Centre for Energy, Petroleum and Mineral Law and Policy at the University of Dundee. I have 20 years experience of teaching students from all around the world something about oil, gas and energy, and hopefully reaching a slightly wider audience here.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So like I mentioned in my previous videos, many people liked Mr. Stephen Dow's videos and some of them requested him to do more videos. This request was from Lloyde, who is from Namibia, and he wanted you to talk about taxation and transfer pricing of multinational oil companies. Could you please take us through this topic?
Well, let's go through the context of this because I think it's really important that people understand where the starting point is. We're not going to talk much about the details. We might do that in a different session, but the context here is really important. Remember, there are two ways to tax oil. You can tax the resource itself, a resource tax, a direct tax on production, or you can tax the company, a corporate tax, or you can do both, right? Now, there are a number of different ways you can tax resources. You can tax them directly through something like a royalty, which is not a progressive tax. When we talk about progressive taxes and non-progressive taxes, what we mean is as the price rises, a progressive tax will take more, and a non-progressive tax, a so-called regressive tax, is the same irrespective of price, right? So basically, what you want in an oil taxation system is, at least as a government, what you want is as the price rises, you want to capture more and more and more of the money. Right? So what you do is you design a system which gives you what you want. You want progressive taxes. Right? The trick then is to then design it within the production sharing contract or in the tax law itself. It doesn't really make any difference. What matters is the overall tax take. It's not the structure that really matters here. Again, if we want to do a session on tax structures, we can do that. But the key to understanding tax is to understand the overall position. The individual tax doesn't really matter, right? It's a build-up. There will be some resource tax, there will be some signature bonus, there will be some royalty, there will be some corporate tax. What matters is the overall tax take, as far as government is concerned. The trick then becomes when you feed it directly into the production sharing contract, because when we were going to talk about transfer pricing, the production sharing contract, what it does is it has a set of costs which are paid to the contractor, the oil company, and those costs are effectively a tax allowance. So basically, the costs happen before taxes are paid. Taxes are paid on what the income after costs. So how do you define a cost? And this is where transfer pricing rears its ugly head. In the bad old days, transfer pricing was all about me selling product to myself at below market price. No one does that anymore. All governments are smart enough, sensible enough, simply to say, if you want to do that, fine, but I don't care. I will tax you as if you have paid the market price. So there is simply a deemed price. There is for the tax rate rather than whatever actual revenue you made. And so you simply take out the bad old days of transfer pricing. But in today's world, there are patented technologies. So for example, I am a producer and my piece of patented technology allows me to collect 65 barrels out of every 100 in the ground rather than the 60 which your patented technology would get. So the government wants me to do the job because I will get more oil, more revenue, more money. Okay? But to use my patented technology, I charge my own company, my subsidiary, say $10 million a day, just to use a ridiculous number. Anywhere I go in the world, I charge that $10 million to whichever subsidiary I'm doing. I don't allow anyone else to use my technology. There's no market for it, there's no market price. But every time my subsidiary company anywhere in the world uses it, it has to pay me, the parent, the $10 million, right? Is that an allowable cost? Is it a reasonable cost? And this is the nightmare that transfer pricing shows up. Because if it's a competitive cost, drilling, anything along those lines. The government can see, I went out into the market, I asked what the market price for this service would be, and I then transferred that price right into the costs, directly into the costs. But I have made up this number for the patented technology. There's no market test. So is it a reasonable cost? And that's really, when you look in tax in any detail at all, once you've understood the basics of these are resources taxes, those are corporate taxes, tax comes down to what are the allowances, what are the, what's a reasonable allowance, what's not an allowance, what's allowed against the tax base and what is not. And the nightmare out there at the moment is patented technology. And if anyone does know exactly how to deal with it in every case, please come to us, write a paper on it, publish it, because there is no single answer to this problem.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Dow. Lloyd from Namibia, there's an answer for you, and if you...
Well, it's context, I don't know if it's an answer.
Yes, context, but definitely in future we shall do more videos with respect to taxation and transfer pricing. So we shall move on to the next video. Stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Stephen Dow.